Ukraine, Russia. You briefed a lot of 05s, 06s, and 1 stars. This is a question from a lot of different people that get asked, and you hear the answer. How can you not see what Russia is doing? How can you not see what Ukraine is doing? How can you not see the fact that there's ties between Biden and Ukraine? Do you not remember what he said publicly? If you don't do this, and then I'll do this. How can you not see all this stuff? And then, hey, F-16, yeah, maybe we'll let him train. And then if somebody else gives him, we're not going to get in the way. Are you saying you're not going to give him F-16s? We don't know. Right now, I can't answer that. So what is your thoughts on what's going on over there?
I wrote a piece on my Substack as soon as the war came out. You can check it. I haven't changed my opinion then. I remember the good old days when conservatives hated KGB colonels and thought Russia invading other countries was bad. I remember those days. The idea today that, oh, he's a champion of the West and he's a Christian. You mean the same guy who persecuted Christians when he was a uniform-wearing member of the KGB? What about the biolabs? Oh, who built the biolabs? The Soviet Union built the biolabs. That's interesting. And then the question that, well, we shouldn't help them because Ukraine's corrupt. That's the dumbest one. Is DC corrupt? Do you think Biden's corrupt? If you do, does that mean China can just invade and roll their tanks down Pennsylvania Avenue? This is wrong. The simplest way to understand it, corruption up the yazoo or not, is this. This man is a bully. He's a bully who said for 20 years, since he became president, he's been giving lectures how Ukraine, how Poland, how the Baltic states are illegitimate, have no right to exist as independent states. Go back to school. Go back to when you're 10-year-old. What happens to the bully if he doesn't get challenged? What happens? He keeps on bullying. When does he stop bullying? When you give the bastard a bloody nose. We're helping the Ukrainians give this guy a bloody nose. And to the last thing about this Tucker Carlson kind of who cares about the world, pull down the shutters on the Pacific and the Atlantic, screw them all. If 1776 means something to you as an American, let me remind you that without the French, the Dutch, and the Spanish, this would still be part of the British Empire. Period. End of story. If the French hadn't blockaded the British, if the Dutch and the Spanish hadn't bankrolled Washington, meaning General Washington, we never would have won. This is their 1776. So if it means something to you, if our Revolutionary War means something, us helping other people fight their 1776, it should mean something to you as well. So no apologies to people I've pissed off. Ukraine has a right to be independent. The Kremlin are a bunch of bastards, and we should help them fight for themselves. Not deploy the 82nd Airborne. I'm not interested in dumb wars and us fighting other people's wars. They should fight their wars, and we should help them. End of story.
How much heat do you catch from having this opinion? I mean, this
man alive.
You're born in Hungary. You understand Soviet communism. You understand Russia relations.
I go on Banner's show every week. This is not popular with the war room hobbits and even with Steve. But
now, if you're in the Trump administration and you bring this opinion into the White House, what do you think he'll say to that?
Oh, he gets it. I mean, look, President Trump. Let's be very clear about what President Trump is. He's not an interventionist, but he's not a Tucker and isolationist. Be very clear what he did. The guy who is accused today of being a Russian asset. Do you know what we did when we found 300 Russians running around Syria? Wagner Group guys working for the Kremlin. You know what we did? He called up Mattis and he said, turn them into red mist now. Kill them all. We killed 300 Russian soldiers in Syria. No president since the revolution of 1917 has killed hundreds of Russians in wartime. We did, okay? He's not an isolationist. What happened in Syria when we saw the chemical... this is declassified now, I can talk about it. What happened when we saw the chemical weapons being pulled out of that airbase again to be used against civilians? Over chocolate cake at Mar-a-Lago, with Xi Jinping eating his chocolate cake, the president leant over and said, I just launched 52 cruise missiles on that Syrian airbase. He's not interested in dumb wars. He's not interested in fighting other people's wars. But when you cross a line, we will make you extra crispy. That's President Trump. Strength through leadership, peace through strength. That is, look, one of the most powerful moments for me in the White House is I went into the Oval. It was just me and the president. And I was there to brief him on Iran, I think. And he's very sidetracked. He's sitting sideways to the Resolute desk. He's reading some documents. And out of nowhere, because I'm there to talk about the Iran deal and killing it, and he looks up and he says, Sebastian, I do not. It was Kim had just done something. Sebastian, I do not want to have American GIs die on the Korean Peninsula again. I mean, he just went so heavy, so fast. But if we have to go to war, we will. That's who he is. I don't want to, but only if it matters to our national security. That's why people don't understand who he is.
You said Trump would end the war, Russia and Ukraine. How will he do that?
Because Putin's afraid of him. Think about what happened after we killed 300 Russians working for the Kremlin in Syria. Putin didn't even have a press conference. Didn't even have a press conference.
You think Putin is afraid of
Trump? Utterly.
Why is he afraid of Trump?
Because he doesn't know what Trump's going to do to him.
I'll give you an idea. CNN just announced that they put 500. Putin put 500 people on a list that you can't visit Russia. I don't know if you saw that or not. Who's on the list? If you can pull this up, 500 names. Obama's on the list. John Huntsman's on the list. You remember the foreign
ambassador?
Yes, ambassador. Yeah. He's on the list. Kimmel's on the list.
Kimmel?
Colbert's on the list. A bunch of guys are on the list. But Trump's not on the list, so, who knows what this means. But this just came out a few days ago. Yeah, Obama is on the list. Obama cannot visit Russia, but Trump can. Obama, Colbert, among 500 Americans banned from going to Russia. This just came out a couple days ago.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.